good to go. Okay, being 5 p.m., the Lafourche Parish Council meeting of December 10th, 2024 is hereby called to order. Ms. Carleen, can you please conduct roll call?
Yes, sir. Mr. Brumfield. Present. Mr. Adams. Present. Mr. Perk. Here. Mr. Melvin. Here. Mr. Pierce. Here. Mr. Arabi. Here. Chairman Oten.
Here.
Mrs. Chasson. Here. Mr. Lorraine. And President Chasson.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Carleen. If everyone would please rise, we'll be led in invocation by Councilman Melvin, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Chasson.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. We pray for all those who have it rough right now in this Christmas season. We also ask that you watch over us and keep us safe and our families safe during this holiday season. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. We would like to remind anyone wishing to address the council, please fill out a blue form as you walked in and get up to the council clerk. We'll be sure to recognize you during public wishing to address the council. Also remind everyone when we discuss ordinances, I will ask for public input prior to discussion by the council and final vote. And also, we'll also on resolutions that will only be discussed by the council before it goes to vote. Lastly, I would respectfully ask everyone to please put your phones on silent and or turn them off out of respect for others in the chambers. And with that said, we'll jump right into tonight's agenda. Item A, approval of minutes. Number 1, I'll now entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the November 26, 2024 regular session. So moved by Mr. Arabi, second by Mr. Pierce. Any discussion? There be none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item B, state and or federal legislative updates. Mr. Joel Giron, State Rep, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm going to give some updates on some projects. DOTD, 5 bridges, 308. The letting did not happen. They basically bumped it further down the road. I did have a meeting at my office with Scott Boyle and Jacob Oncall and discussed about 4 pages of things in Lafourche Parish and the district that need to be addressed. Also including signage on the elevated highway that's still the same since post-Ida, the Golden Meadow Bridge, the South Lafourche Bridge, the grinding of the bumps, the 5 bridge on 308 project. The Golden Meadow Bridge, I got an update today that the gearbox is being inspected by the DOTD engineer. I told them that January 1st was a targeted deadline because we got some emergency ambulance people and fire districts down the bayou that are looking or basically have signed some paperwork saying that it'd be fixed by then. This was way back when, thinking that would be easily doable. So now I'm pushing them to get it done by January 1st. They said it's still ambitious to get it done, but they're trying. Let's see, beyond that, last night I attended along with Councilman Lorraine the Golden Meadow Middle School revamp project for the school. I think they had a good turnout of people. They got a plan. They're still having some troubles with one of the contractors. I think it said there was Hubs Contracting that had originally done the roofing that they're in litigation with. Beyond that, let's see. The special session on tax, we concluded that. It's going to all be put forth as a package to be accepted in March on the March ballot as one amendment for the tax package. There'll probably be other amendments that during this tax session that we passed. Those will come out a little bit later via the PAR, the Public Affairs Research document that they'll put out explaining the different amendments. So looking for those. And lastly, on coastal restoration side of things, my two things with my nonprofit Restorer Retreat. We completed a planting of 10,000 mangroves on the new terraces in Fouchon that's been built by ConocoPhillips or built by Ducks Unlimited on ConocoPhillips property. So they're taking really well. So that hopefully will be a resiliency measure and a natural solution, nature solution-based storm surge resiliency protection for LA1 in that area with those mangroves growing on there. And lastly, during the course of the special session, I attended a Senate transportation meeting where the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion, which we already had discussed here in this chamber, on a resolution opposing it. And tonight I would like to propose to the council to petition that y'all actually do a resolution in support of the Mid-Barataria sediment diversion. Keeping in mind that this project is to reconnect the Mississippi River south of Myrtle Grove, or north of Myrtle Grove, to connect it with three gated structures to let Mississippi River water flow into the Barataria estuarial basin, reconnecting it and regrowing the marsh, which according to our former levee manager of South Lafourche, Mr. Wendell Curall, is a badly needed measure. After Hurricane Ida, I rode the levees with him, patted him on the back, told him that his works had allowed us to not flood. And basically what he said was, the battle's just begun, because now that the marsh is all torn up, we definitely need to have a project like the diversion in order to rebuild the marsh, in addition to all the other tools in the CPRA toolbox, which is, of course, barrier island, back marsh creation, land bridges, our continued maintenance and building of our levees for storm surge. Still working diligently with Morganza to Gulf to continue the north of the Intracoastal on the 308 side, completing the Reach K and Reach L, which connects with the South Lafourche Levee District to protect the west side of Lafourche Parish around the Intracoastal. And with that, I would again kindly ask that y'all give consideration, and one of the council member consider making a motion to draft a resolution that Lafourche Parish government is in support of this particular cornerstone project of CPRA's master plan, which had been passed through 3 legislative cycles, each time unanimously, with that project being the top project for the coastal master plan. And I'd be happy to take any questions about any issue regarding District 54 that any of our good councilmen or parish president may have.
Anybody got anything for Joe? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor first, sir.
Yeah, Joe, thank you for coming and give us your report. You said you met with DOTD in your office. I'm sure you discussed with them 2 artesian wells, huh?
I did.
Well, let me tell you what happened. Somebody did something yesterday or day before yesterday on the one by the old Washington House right above the Galliana Bridge on LA1.
Okay, because I know somebody
looks like
had done
they dug
the
a
other
little
one.
trench.
Okay.
Looks like they dug a little trench, and it looks like it's working. And the other one was taken care of by the contractor.
Correct.
The one that's doing the bridge. If you look, he made a little trench
to the corner of the building.
right in the corner of the building.
Yeah.
So I hope it holds up.
Yeah, but that's not the solution that...
No.
Okay.
It needs to be addressed, but
Right.
but it's better than being in the bayou than
On the road, on the white line.
And I'm not too much strong on putting things in the bayou,
Gotcha.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, the things that originally were in the bayou, I think it's okay for them to be in the bayou. So that's a different issue. But a contractor by the name of Sims was originally contracted. It sounded like 10, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, to find the two artesian wells, source, and actually plug them. And I brought it back up to DOTD, and the head guy, Scott Boyle, said, get back with Sims, find out what's the last that they did on it, and then find two other contractors that are capable of doing that work to take care of that problem once and for all in a proper manner, not just digging a ditch along the asphalt to the bayou.
Oh, that's the alternative.
You lost your mic, Daniel. You press your button, you turn it off. So the lens actually, you're not gonna be able to go next. The lens getting, when you press your button, you fell to the bottom of the line. So let the lens say, and then you can follow up after. Yeah, when you press your button, that's it. You're off the mic and you go to the bottom of the line.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna press it.
Don't press. I can press your button for you, so don't press it. The lens.
I wanted to thank you, Joe, for the Restore Retreat, and hopefully we can restore and conquer, because that levee we worked so hard for all these years is not going to do us any good unless we get that marsh built back up. So I think it's a great program y'all are involved with, and thank you for all that hard work.
Thank you. I think it is important for the planned economic recovery of our area, the energy independence, no, correction, energy dominance that the United States is looking for, and Louisiana to lead. And us being able to, beyond 2027, to be able to use the elevated highway from Golden Meadow, we got to be able to get through Golden Meadow to be able to use it. So it's important, and having a good levee just on the west side of Bayou Lafourche doesn't help us out. If just Terrebonne Basin is taken care of, and the Barataria Basin is left to continue to rot and open up to the Gulf of Mexico, estuarial necrosis, that is.
Mr. Lorraine, you have the
Back to you.
floor.
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that I had 4 or 5 calls from DOTD on these artesian wells. I had to explain it so many times of what I knew. I thought I became an expert on the artesian wells, man. So hopefully they can address it.
Well,
Because listen, somebody's going to really get hurt there.
The one by the Galliana Bridge was...
That's a bad one.
That was bad. I mean, that one, I don't think you could avoid, if there was no southbound traffic, you couldn't avoid not hydroplaning.
Well, one of the ladies that called you, she lives, her mom and dad lives there. And a lot of cars are coming up north, south to north, and if there's no cars coming, they go on the other lane, like you're saying. But hopefully it'll get fixed. But thank you anyway, huh? I know you're trying, and one day when the Golden Meadow Bridge is going to be fixed, nobody's going to believe it. They're not going to use it.
And then the South Lafourche Bridge will be out for a little while after that.
I'll just comment on the Fire Bridge project and just reiterate the importance of that McLeod Bridge. I mean, a few of those bridges but there's the McLeod one that started 12, 15 years ago because of all the fatality accidents. And we had, this year we had a couple more, I think? Yeah, we had 2 more there this year. So, I mean, people just keep dying there. It's like, how long is it going to take us? When we met in Houma, and all these people came down from the state. And
2020. That was the first month that I was sworn in, I remember.
No, this is 12 to 15 years ago when the police chief was Warren Vage Ross, and we went to Houma and we met with the state delegation and we all met in Houma. That's when it really started. But it was because of the number of fatality accidents at McLeod. So what I would ask, if this is going to keep getting punted year after year after year, if they can maybe go back and look and see if there's any other safety things they can do there, whether it's putting more lighting, more flashing lights, anything else that they can do to mitigate. People that they coming up and elevated, they're in the curve, and they're on a bridge that's I don't want to say no, it's on the white line on both sides. Right. So that's why we have so many really nasty wrecks there.
Well, I can't tell you from the plans that I got, that they were talking about letting, they have the realignment that straightens out the road. So
yeah, that's what we went. We had went in 2020 and look at it. I'm just saying to keep kicking the can down the road. If they can do some other mitigating factors, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Got it.
See, life saved. But thank you, appreciate it.
Anything else? No?
That's it.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you all very much for taking care. I'll see that I'm on the ordinance list number 6 for my servitude for my ditch. Much appreciated. Thank you.
All right. Any other state and our federal legislative updates? All right, there being none, we have none on C.
Yeah, we do.
We do it, I'm sorry. C, Lafourche Parish Outstanding Citizen, Mr. Mark Perk, you have the floor, sir. You are live.
Okay. In the middle of their own personal struggles, Robbie and Naomi Guidry decided to put their time and energy into helping our community prepare for hurricane season by hosting the Bayou Lafourche Storm Ready Expo back in June 1st of this year. In just 30 days, they pulled together multiple officials and community resources to provide the public with opportunities to learn from the experiences of Hurricane Ida. Robbie and Naomi stepped out of their comfort zone to build a program that was a massive success, and it proved very beneficial with us dealing with Hurricane Francine. So when Robbie and Naomi could have just focused on their own needs, they chose to help the community in a big way. So whereas the Lafourche Parish Council, through Resolution 18-004, created the Outstanding Citizen Award program to recognize Lafourche Parish residents for extraordinary accomplishments, heroic and courageous efforts, and selfless service and deeds that improve the lives of residents of Lafourche Parish. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Lafourche Parish Council, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, we do hereby recognize Robbie and Naomi Guidry as the recipient of the Outstanding Citizen Award for their outstanding service to Lafourche Parish and offer our congratulations for achieving this honor, presented by our Lafourche Parish Council on this day, December 10th, 2024. Congratulations.
That's all we got. No, I have none. No public.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all don't have to stick out through the rest of the meeting, though, if y'all want to jet. But thank y'all again. We appreciate it. Community
Thank
thanks
you.
you.
I hear you.
All right, thank you, Mark. That brings us to item D, presentations and/or updates. None. Brings us to item E, engineers and/or architect reports.
Good evening, John Plaisance with GIS Engineering. Y'all have seen me here before. We have a lot of projects going on with y'all. Most of those are stuck in either permitting or funding issues or both. But I did want to announce that we are moving forward with the Eunice Alamo Pump Station advertisement again. We should be starting in the next week or two advertising, and we will be receiving bids on January 28th of '25. And any other questions that y'all might have?
Anybody any questions? We good?
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right.
Joe Piciola, Piciola and Associates, 115 Piciola Parkway, Cutoff, Louisiana. So our first project is Airport Connector Road and Bridge. This project's been going on for a while. Sea Level Construction is the contractor. He is making good progress. He's working currently on the asphalt roadway, cleaning up the roadway. He's also working on the lift span, doing electrical work, and we're still waiting on machinery. When the machinery comes in, we will install the lift span and then wrap up the project. Current completion date is set for June of next year. I don't know if I can do this. Oh, that's fine. That's what's probably was the problem before. Yeah. Yeah, there's a video of what the corridor looks like. We flew it a couple of weeks ago. Kind of gives you a good perspective of, this is coming from the 4-lane going towards Bayou Lafourche. All the street lights are up, a lot of the drainage is in. The asphalt road is now, it's striped, preliminary striping. And they're doing cleanup along the edge of the road as we speak. Weather permitting, put it that way.
There's an expensive sound barrier.
That's the sound barrier required by,
U-code standards.
it's required by NEPA to protect the citizens from noise. It's a really nice fence is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, the rest of the parish, where all these trucks pass up and down 308 and Highway 1, we're right next to it.
So as you come up to the bridge, you can see the lift span is being assembled on the southern side, the right-hand side. And that's, you know, it's pretty much complete now. They're doing some touch-up welding and some touch-up painting. And it'll be put on a barge and then rotated into place. And then the machinery will lift it up into place. That's how it's going to happen. So anticipating that, we will have probably a 3 or 4 day bayou closure when that happens, and we'll have to notify, we'll let everybody know through the proper authorities, through the port and through the parish, so the mariners know that the navigation in Bayou Lafourche will be shut down.
Interesting story is last week I entertained a professor from Purdue University and a PhD chemist from Pennsylvania. And when they got to the plant, the first thing they asked me was, yeah, we passed along the bay and there was these huge chains and these big pulley looking things. What is that? Never saw or heard of a lift bridge before in their life.
That's right.
I didn't know what they were talking about. We had to go ride and see because they kept explaining it to me. I thought everybody knew what a lift bridge is, right?
Yep. Well, this one will have the big, the lift. The counterweights are already in place, but the chains will be put on at a later date when the machinery is installed on the top of the 2 towers. Okay, that should be close to being enough.
Yeah, they had me pause it. I didn't know what they were talking about.
All right.
It was the Matthews Bridge.
All right, so the next project we have is the Rita Pump Station. It consists of 2 24-inch pumps. One's going to have a diesel engine, the other one's going to have an electric motor. We are finalizing project plans now in preparation for bids. We do have all the permits for this. I'd expect in the next month or next couple of weeks we'll go for final review with DPW so we can go out for bid. The next project we have is Sugar Ridge Pump Station. This includes 2 new 30-inch hydraulic pumps with diesel engines. We received bids back in September. Lowland Construction was the low bidder. We gave him a notice to proceed on December 2nd. He's starting to move out onto the site and starting to do some cleanups, starting to look at where we're going to move the current pumps out of the way so we can begin construction. They have purchased the new pumps already, and they have purchased and are beginning to prep the steel sheet pile for this project. The LaRose boat launch, that's this project right here, the LaRose boat launch. So we're still undergoing permitting with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Last week they asked for some more calculations on the bulkhead and the ramp, which we're scheduled to submit that back to them sometime later this week. So hopefully that's the last thing they're going to ask for. The next project is our road priority road improvements project. This is for parish-wide road improvements. So we completed an assessment of approximately 50 streets in the worst condition as previously prioritized by the iWork system, and we submitted all that to DPW for review. Once they've reviewed that, we're going to determine a budget and a scope for a project sometime next year. The Côte Blanche Bridge rehabilitation, so this project includes repairs to the approaches, the timber decking. We're going to dry dock the barge It hasn't been dry docked or done anything to in the last 15 years. We're going to potentially do some upgrades to the wind system and the electrical system. So we've completed like an 85% set of plans. We submitted that to Dylan. We're going to make sure our scope is right with DPW, and then we're going to move those plans to finalize and go out for bids for that project. And lastly, we have the Choctaw Levee Mitigation Project. So this project includes restoring part of a levee project in Choctaw. We have all the permits from the state and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. All of our field work is done, and we are working on plans now to submit to the administration and DPW in preparation for bids. Any questions?
And Mark, you have the floor first, sir.
This is more curiosity, and I don't know if it's you, administration, but it's because the road, approach road from LA1 to 3235 seems pretty close to being ready. Is there any intent on opening that thoroughfare before the bridge is open?
No.
Okay, I was just curious.
We've had some discussions with the contractor about that, and they're using part of that road for staging equipment and working on the bridge. The other thing, too, is that it would be hard where they're working in proximity of the bridge with having moving traffic going through that, so it'd be a safety issue. So they've asked us not to do that, so.
Makes sense.
You potentially could. It's going to be ready, but
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, that makes sense.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
I'm sure you've been asked, like I've been asked, on from LA1 to 3235 at the airport corridor, what makes that curve? That was land problems or?
Well, when you designing a highway, you have to meet state and federal geometry for alignment of the road and connections to LA1 and also to 3235. So you have to have, it's not exactly a 90-degree intersection, but you have to have close to a 90-degree intersection at each location. So we have to have a curve in it.
And also, it looks like they're gonna have some pretty good lights there. I think that's what they need to do from LaRose all the way to Golomel, is put lights like that on 3235. One more question.
I'll do that project for you, Daniel, if you get
Okay.
the money.
Whenever somebody's gonna run for a higher office and campaign on that, they might win. But I could remember one candidate for years, he was gonna build the road all the way to LaRose, but it took 32 years. But eventually they got it. Oh, my next question is, on the cutoff bridge, it's about 15 years that project was done?
Yes,
So we going on dry dock?
yes.
Okay. My question is, there's a lot of rehabilitation there. I guess they're gonna wait till some of the other bridges are fixed before they tackle that. But when that bridge was built 15 years ago, it was right at $5.5 million. Am I right or wrong?
That's a little bit less than that, but
Not much.
not much.
Okay, 5 to 5.5. I'm just letting you know, because some new bridges today are not gonna be built like that for $5 million.
I think right now our budget is $2.5 million is what we plan to do in rehabilitation work.
And I'll turn you loose.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Lorraine. Mr. Melvin.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I won't take up as much time, I promise. Real quick, about the road work, I know that over the years I've gotten requests and put in requests for Burma Road, and I know sometimes we're dealing with roads in bad shape, but what about striping? Burma, St. Charles Bypass.
We didn't specifically attack striping, but Dylan can answer. I mean, we could probably do that, but it's the way we were asked to prioritize was the condition of the road itself.
And I believe, some roads really need some work. I just know that some need some striping, but, so I'll talk to him after. Thank you.
Yeah. You got anything else for Joe? Because I got to block you out. All right, Dylan, You want to answer that, Dylan? Go ahead, you got it.
Yes, sir, sure. So they did really look, like Mr. Joe said, they did look at the condition of the road. Obviously, if we pave a road, we are going to stripe it. There's a separate grant that was afforded to us by DOTD that includes a lot of these roads that you, Mr. Araby, and a few others have requested striping. So we are waiting for that to just come out. As soon as that comes out, we'll get that done a lot quicker than we will this road project. And the road project really is just a funding issue at this point. We're trying to figure out what roads we need to do with what funds we have, and we're working with them on doing that based on their priority or their assessment of these roads. But we have, Mr. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere around $32 million worth of roads to repair in the parish currently.
And definitely have more repairs than we have budget.
Correct.
All right, very good. Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you.
Joe. Any other engineers and architects? Oh, yep, here we go.
Good evening, Shane Gill with High Tide Consultants, 700 Canal Boulevard, Thibodaux, Louisiana. I have one project to report on, the Morvon Pump Station. I'm going to try to figure out how to use this thing. So Morvon Pump Station was actually, the scope's about 4,600 linear feet of aggregate access road, and then a crossing of, I call it the Morvon Canal, but it's 4 72-inch culverts and a relocation of a 60-inch culvert. The original project budget was a little over $900,000. The bid came in, the low qualified bidder was Sea Level Construction, and the base bid and the alternate number one came in at $875,440. We did do substantial completion on November the 5th, and you do have a change order on the agenda tonight. With it's basically going to be a balancing change order. We had to do some demucking and add some structural fill. We had the balancing of quantities, and we added 5 days for weather. So the new contract price is $887,450. And I do have some pictures. This is just kind of an overall showing how the project looks coming from 60 Arpent to get us to the pump station. Picture on the left is kind of the condition of the headland when we started. The condition on the right is a progress picture of while we were putting the aggregate in. So we basically came in and degraded the area, got the organics out, put in some structural fill where required, put a geogrid down, and then an aggregate base. This was the fun part. This was the canal and the canal crossing. Top picture was the canal before we started crossing. The bottom picture shows you what we had to demuck. So we had estimated about 18 inches of demuck. We had about 3 or 4 to get to kind of a hard pan to put that base on. And then these pictures here, so this is after they demucked, they put in some structural fill. We put down a geogrid fabric combination. And then, so the picture on the top left is that geogrid fabric, and then on the bottom is the 57 base that we were putting in for the pipes. So this is the picture that gets you excited about drainage right here. So this is the 4 72-inch pipes going in. So they're on that base. The top picture, they've got the pipes in. They're starting to put in the aggregate between the pipes to kind of lock them in. And the bottom's where they're starting to get the crossing started. And this was done about a week and a half before Francine. And this is the final picture showing the crossing from the influent and effluent side. And then we actually took the alternate number 1, which gave us the road all the way to the pump station along the levee, and that's the bottom picture. So that is the project. Any questions?
Very good. Anyone has any questions? There are none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate the update. Any other engineer and architect reports? Brings us to item F. We have any, Ms. Carleen? We have none. Item G, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. I'll now entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Araby. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 2, ordinance requesting no dumping, $500 fine signs be posted on the parish right-of-way at the intersection of 40 Arpent Road and Coulon, I don't want to say Coulon, Quarters Road, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Ward 1, District 1, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, installing the necessary no dumping, $500 fine signs and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Moved by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 2? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 2. Final call. Anyone from the public like to comment on this ordinance? Would anyone from the council like to discuss? Mr. Perk, you have the floor, sir.
Hey, James, can you pull up that pic just real quick and show you why this DJ, Councilman Brumfield and Alice territory, district butt up right here, and We cleaned this out. We picked up, when I say we, Public Works picked up about a week and a half ago, and that's what's already there. So hopefully those hopefully those signs will work. So, yeah, so anyway.
It's looking good.
I just happened to pass there today
That's bad.
on my way here, so.
All right. Very good. Any further discussion? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 3, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 4882, which established a three-way stop at Parish Road and Camellia Drive, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Ward 1, District 3, Parish Lafourche, State of Louisiana, and requiring the removal of the two stop signs located on Parish Road, east and west, where it intersects with Camellia Drive. Councilman Perk on the motion, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 3? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 3. Last and final call. Anyone from the public would like to comment on this ordinance? Would anyone from the council like to discuss? Mr. Perk, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, this was as a request by the constituents in that area, and so I did speak with all the constituents, and it's really due to road noise and trying to control the traffic a little better. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 4 has been deferred to the January 14, 2025 meeting. Item 5, ordinance declaring property as surplus belonging to Lafourche Parish government, authorizing the disposal of surplus property, authorizing the advertising of surplus items for sale, authorizing the acceptance of the highest qualified bidders, and any remaining items that are deemed to have no value will be properly discarded, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Ms. Chesson for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 5? Second call, public input on ordinance at number 5. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 6, ordinance approving a servitude agreement between Joseph A. Ogeron and Angela L. Ogeron and Lafourche Parish government in the Galliana area, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 6? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 6. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 7, ordinance amending and reenacting Chapter 6 of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances as it pertains to amusements, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Pierce on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 7? Second call, anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 7? Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council?
You just changed that.
Mr. Lorraine. Ms. Lorraine, you have the floor first.
The email address, that's the only thing you're putting in there, that they could send it by email address?
So what's happening here, Mr. Lorraine, is specifically as a fire district that wants to hold a festival, and they're having a problem with the alcohol being too close to, as you know, there's lots of churches these days, there's churches around every corner, there's public schools, and so all this does, with these two ordinances are doing, is allowing you to get permission to hold an event on a weekend, basically, essentially, where there's no one there anyway. So if you get a letter of no objection from the entity, then you can go ahead and apply. You can get the letter of no objection from the parish to apply to the state for the alcohol license.
Okay.
Am I correct in what I said?
Yeah.
Mr. President. Go ahead, Archie.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will also notice that it's not just, although we were doing this for a particular fire district, about a week after the fire district called, we actually had a church that called and said, hey, we want to have a kind of a family day cook-off next door to the church. And by the way, we want to sell alcohol. So I think it's going to help a lot of people. And I think when you measure some of the other festivals that happen, it's just something we've never really thought about until this couple of particular issues came up. So we're just going to fix it for everybody once and for all.
Hold on. I'm going to have to let you come back. Let me let Terry say, go ahead, Terry, you have the floor.
No, I just wanted to say, I think that, I guess, Archie, what it means is that, you know, that it's close to a school. Most of these things are going to transpire on the weekend anyway, and it's just
I guess this is going to make it a whole lot better for everybody involved, not just the fire department, you know? Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it was a more attractive approach than just eliminating that ordinance altogether, because we still want to have that, I
Right,
think, so
right.
as a body. So, all right, thank you, Mr. Pierce. Mr. Lorraine.
Yeah, I was called from someone on that dollar store in LaRose, not the first one, the second one, or maybe the first one when you get off the bridge, that they wanted to sell beer there, and then you got a church right next door, so I don't know, that don't pertain to this?
Well, I think it gives anyone the option, if you get permission from whoever that authority is next door.
So if the church allows it similar to what we did? No?
So this is only for amusements, like temporary? Hold on, I gotta cut you off again, Daniel, so I can let the parish president have the floor again. Go ahead.
So it doesn't apply to everybody. So it wouldn't apply to like a Dollar General or the issue we had with the Mexican restaurant down the Bahia. I think those, if it was something that was there before that was rebuilt, like the Mexican restaurant, if we got a letter from the church or the school, then there's a variance process for that, right? This would only apply to nonprofits that are trying to have an amusement, a fair, a bazaar, a festival that are within the bounds of that school or church. They get the letter of no objection from those entities, again, because there's no school on a weekend, no church service or Sunday mornings, whatever. Then it allows us to be able to sign the letter, give it to the sheriff's office, and let them go get their alcohol permit.
Right, and you have to get the permit from the ATC, you have to have the letter of no objection from the parish. That's why they kind of get stuck, and the parish can't issue because we have this ordinance. So it gives us an option. Okay, if there's no further discussion, we'll bring this to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 8, ordinance amending and reenacting Chapter 4 of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances as it pertains to alcoholic beverages and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Pierce for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 8? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 8. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. I now entertain a motion to close public hearing. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Melvin. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item H, proposed ordinances. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Number 9, proposed ordinance to install a Watch for Children sign midway on the street of 134 East 176th Street, Golden Meadow, Louisiana, Ward 10, District 9, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, providing for the placement of a Watch for Children sign as stated above, moved by Mr. Lorraine. Number 10, proposed ordinance approving a servitude agreement between Heath Hayden and Lafourche Parish government in the Thibodeau area and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Would someone please move for me on this one? Thank you. Moved by Mr. Adams. 11, proposed ordinance approving for a servitude agreement between Conrad Harlan and Wendy G. Harlan. Excuse me, that's Conrad D. Harlan and Wendy G. Harlan for Lafourche Parish government in the Thibodeau area with authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Tebow, you move for me again on that one. Thank you, sir. Move on, Mr. Tebow. Williams. Adams. Proposed, number 12, proposed ordinance approving a servitude agreement between Percy J. Acosta, Jr. and Lafourche Parish government in the Thibodeau area and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any of all relevant documents. Would you move for me one more time, Mr. Adams? Thank you, sir. Number 13, proposed ordinance approving a servitude agreement between Jean B. Zarang, acting power of attorney for Ralph C. Zarang, and Lafourche Parish government in the Thibodeau area, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any of all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Tebow from me, please. Thank you, sir. Moved by Mr. Adams. Number 14, proposed ordinance providing for a 2024 supplemental appropriation 24-011 within the 2024 operation and maintenance budget to lease vehicles for mechanics and DPW, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter, moved by Mr. Otan for the administration. Number 15, proposed ordinance approving a variance from FEMA and Lafourche Parish government elevation requirements for a temporary Connex parts storage building located at 686 A.O. Rappelet Road, Golden Meadow, Louisiana, 70357, belonging to Louisiana Cat Port Fouchon Facility, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration. And that does it, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Item I, resolutions. Number 16, resolution approving a lease agreement between the Warren J. Harang Jr. Municipal Auditorium and Lafourche Parish Government Office of Community Action for the 2025 quarterly commodity distribution, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 17, resolution approving agreement between Deaf Action Center Interpreting Services, LLC, and Lafourche Parish Government for sign language interpreting, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 18, resolution approving change order number 1 from Sea Level Construction Incorporated for the project titled Morvant Pump Station Access and Bridge Design Project, increasing the contract price by $12,010 and adding 5 additional days to the contract time, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 19, resolution approving agreement between Lafourche Parish Recreation District Number 2 and Lafourche Parish Government to provide reimbursement of the project titled Recreation District Number 2, Milton P. Araby Racing Community Park, Hurricane Ida replacements and repairs, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Araby for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 20, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Raymont Engineering and Design Group, LLC, for the project titled Lafourche Parish Pump Station, SCADA, and Control System Hosting and Maintenance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Abstain. Motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention, that abstention being Councilman Adams. Item 21, resolution approving task order number 2 for the project titled Hurricane Ida Project Management Services with ELOS Environmental, LLC, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said task order and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 22, resolution approving an agreement between Pisciola and Associates Incorporated and Lafourche Parish Government, excuse me, for engineering services for the project titled West Side Drainage Improvements Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Ms. Shessa for the administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Excuse me. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 23, resolution appointing 1 member to Lafourche Parish Tourist Commission Board. Mr. Melvin for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Melvin?
I have Mr. Joshua Falgu.
Can I get a second from Mr. Falgo? Second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 24, resolution appointing 2 members on the Sewers District Number 1 Board. Mr. Melvin for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Melvin?
I have Mr. Rick Luke and Tanner Williams.
Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 25, resolution appointing 1 member to Lafourche Parish Commission on Women Board. Mr. Perk for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Perk?
We have 1 vacancy, 1 appointment, Ms. Julia McCurdy.
Second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 26, resolution approving change order number 4 for the project titled Hurricane Ida Repairs Courthouse Annex and Old Jail Roof, increasing the contract price by $17,450 and adding 5 days to the contract time, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 27, resolution approving agreement between Lafourche Parish government and Acrisure to provide commercial property, equipment, floater, and boiler and machinery coverages as quoted, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 28, resolution approving an agreement between Louisiana Housing Corporation and Lafourche Parish Government Office of Community Action for the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LAHEAP, fiscal year 2025, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Brumfield for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item J, motion. Item 29, I'll entertain a motion to dispense with the Lafourche Parish Council's December 24, 2024 meeting. So move aggressively by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Melvin. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item K, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, or Managers' Reports, Presentations, and or Updates. Item 30, Department of Public Works Representative to present a report. Dylan, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, as always, starting at the Thibodeau Field Office, Serenity outfall, swept outfall. Pine Ridge outfall, swept outfall. Elizabeth Street outfall, swept the outfall. Cedar Tree Drive, swept roadside ditches. Lede Drive, clean culverts. West Camellia Pump, pulled the pump and removed an impeller jam. Moving to Choctaw Field Office is Sugar Ridge outfall, swept the outfall. Choctaw North Levee, cleaned the Borough Canal. Moving to Bayou Blue Field Office is Martinez Road, installed culvert for access to the right-of-way. Jerry Lou Street, swept roadside ditches. Io Street, swept roadside ditches. I'm sorry, there's the Raceland Field Office, Iowa Street, swept roadside ditches and clean culverts. Moving to Lockport Field Office, 137 Oak Street, replace collapsed driveway culvert. 228 LaRise Drive, remove collapsed landscape culverts. 304 and 314 First Street, remove collapsed landscape culverts. This is St. Joseph Street, replace a collapsed cross street culvert. 15th Street, swept roadside ditches. East 40th Street, swept roadside ditches. And clean culverts. Moving to Galliana Field Office is East 74th Street, remove a collapsed landscape culvert. And the Danos outfall, remove the fallen tree. Highway 308 at East 144th Street, swept roadside ditch. As far as work completed by the maintenance contractor, this is 300 Parkside Drive, repaired concrete driveway. This is something that was done as part of the Dugas Canal project, and the driveway was failing. So we were obviously out of the warranty period for that project, so we took it upon ourselves to repair it. 202 Marcelo Boulevard, repair concrete driveway, as well as 220 Marcelo Boulevard. 304 Pamela Place, repair concrete driveway. 111 Marcel Street, repair concrete driveway. 212 Oakview Drive is the asphalt patch. As far as the work completed in the office, during the month of November, There were no permanent servitudes acquired. There were 2 major subdivisions inspected, but no major subdivision reviews. 5 properties were redivided. 11 culvert permits and 2 fence permits were issued, 304 work requests were received, 79 permits were reviewed for compliance, and 6 jobs were completed by the maintenance contractor. As far as engineering projects, there are currently 23 projects in design phase, 6 projects under construction, 1 project that is currently out for bid that you heard earlier is Eunice Alamo Pump Station, and 1 project that is recently complete, which is the SCADA on the 10 pump stations. And that's why you approved the agreement to get into a maintenance contract with those guys. And with that, I'll entertain any questions.
All right. Terry, you have the floor first, sir.
Bill, I just got one question for you. A while back, I put in a request for a pedestrian crosswalk on Cypress Street that I received from the hospital for the doctors and nurses to walk back and forth to the clinic on Acadia Park. Did we make any headway with that yet?
All right. That's the first question. You have any more for him?
That's it.
All right. Mr. Melvin.
Yes, sir, Dylan, I was curious. A while back, I'd sent in a request, and I don't know if it was us or the Levy District, about a couple fallen trees behind Constant that are in the 40. I just didn't know. I wanted an update on that. If you don't have it now, just let me know, but that was a concern. Also, I think that'll do it for tonight with that. I'd also like to request a meeting, if we can have another meeting, maybe out with Barry Wagasback. We'll go out there and just see. He's calls me with some more things, and I just wanted to see exactly what he's talking about across the street now from him on Martinez. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Lorraine.
Yes, Dylan, we did some work on East 153 and 154. And the only thing the parish is probably going to do would be change out driveway culverts if they need to be changed out.
All right.
This is a section that we just cleaned out all the ditches. And I got a little blueprint that I drew up. I didn't get an engineer to do it. I did it myself. A couple of covers going under the road are pretty bad. And then there are some other culverts that might need to be changed. So who would change that?
All right. That's it, Mr. Lorraine?
No, I'm not finished yet.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted.
Go ahead and ask all your questions.
Who would change it?
Go ahead.
I'm asking.
Oh, right. So he has 2 questions. What, you have any more before I give the mic back to Dylan?
I said, as far as I understand, they change out driveway covers. Mm-hmm. Who's going to change the other culverts if they need to be changed?
All right. But you have any other questions for me?
I'm asking the administration, somebody.
So Daniel, I cannot allow him to speak until you off the mic. If you finish your questions.
But I want to come back.
Okay.
After his answer, I want to come back.
Okay. Yeah, we still have questions for the administration.
So take it off?
All right, so I'm going to cut you off. Dylan, are you interested in answering all these questions? So what I have is, hopefully you took notes.
I got them all written down.
You have the floor.
Yes, sir. To answer Mr. Araby first about the pedestrian crosswalk, we were in contact with Oshner, the gentleman that's in charge of the project. They have put it on hold for now. So we are waiting until to hear back from them. So it is on hold for now. They need to plan where their sidewalks are going to attach in order to be ADA compliant, and we don't want to put striping on the road where they aren't going to meet. So when I started asking questions, they realized that it was a little premature, and they want to get a little more planning done before we put permanent marks on the road that'll be there for a while. So, yep. So we're coordinating with them, got a contact there, waiting to hear back from them. Mr. Melvin, as far as the fallen trees in Constant, I will look back into that. I'm not familiar with it. I know we looked at the other request that you just recently sent in the back of Brandywine, so if we didn't get to it, we will certainly get to it while we're on that one behind Brandywine. Certainly, we can meet with Mr. Barry Wagasback. If we can't get it penciled in next week, I know everybody's busy. We'll try to do it after the first year. I do see that he's constructed a personal levee around his entire premises, so maybe he's on the move with some of that stuff. Mr. Lorraine, to answer your questions on East 153rd and 154th, I'm unfamiliar with the project going on there. I can certainly meet with the field offices. We do and are responsible for driveway culverts. If you looked in the presentation that culvert that was changed on St. Joseph Street was a culvert that was underneath the asphalt under the road, so we certainly can change those. The field office feels like it's kind of a big job for them because of traffic or other reasons. We can send it out to the maintenance contractor, but we are very capable of doing that in-house. So any roadside culverts that are utilized for driveways or cross culverts underneath the road, we certainly can change. And then we can get the maintenance contractor to put a hot patch on it after we've done it and it's settled. So it looks good and matches in with the road. And I think it answered all of them.
All right, thank you, Dylan.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir,
it.
thank you.
Lorraine, Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor.
So there would be no landscape covers, right?
I think, so the question, as he understood it, was you were asking if they have the capability of changing. He answered that he did, but I don't think that was a question.
In that subdivision, there's going to be some landscape covers that need to be changed. That's what I'm aiming at. Is the parish going to take care of some of that or not?
All right, so I'll cut you off. Mr. President, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So it all depends, Daniel. As you well know, in some cases, if it affects road stability and stuff like that, then yeah, we change them out. If it's purely a landscape culvert where the ditch is not an oversized ditch that we have to open up, if the road doesn't start to fall in, then we leave them. We do that, I think we just finished it on like East 1st and 2nd. We ripped up a bunch of landscape culverts and we didn't put them back because there weren't any road failures.
Because off the top of my head.
Oh, Mr. Lorraine, so he answered your question on landscape, so you have another question? Okay, you have the floor.
Off the top of my head, we did culverts on West 11th. We did culverts on Providence. We did culverts on West 41st. And we did some on Barry on Snort. That was paid for by the Drainage District. $250,000. A lot of that was landscape culverts. So that's why I'm asking, I'm trying to get a piece of the pie.
So there's a question. I'm
I
not
don't
sure
hear
there's a
anybody.
question there. Okay. All right, thank you, Dylan. Appreciate it. Brings us to item L, questions for the administration. Questions for the administration?
I got a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Lorraine.
Can I get an answer?
Yeah, so I think he still wants to engage you on landscape, which I think you just explained it. I think he wants you to explain it again, perhaps. So, Mr. President, you have the floor.
Yeah, he's trying to bait me because we put some culverts in somewhere and he's trying to start a fight. It all depends, Daniel. I'm not gonna, hold on, I'm answering your question. I'm not gonna commit to say that we're gonna go rip up landscape culverts and we're gonna automatically put them back. In some cases, I will tell you personally, and I think if you ask most of us sitting behind me, the work the Drainage District did, I would not have done either. That was a quick and easy way for people to go buy votes. Let's tell it for what it was, right? So I'm not gonna commit to tell you on this particular street we aren't or we are not. We may not do it right away. We may do it 2 years from now if we start to see some problems. We may not. We may do it 10 years from now, right? We've been involved in multiple projects where, again, if there were landscape culverts there, we sometimes put them back if it's a big drainage project through the road district or something else. I don't know. It all depends on what happens.
All right,
Mr. Lorraine.
All I could tell you that the Drainage District did a super job throughout the whole parish, and y'all are screwing it up. Period.
All right. It brings us to item M, discussion. Any further discussion? Discussion? Mr. Melvin.
Well, I just wanted to wish everybody Merry Christmas, and also congratulations to Edie White Cardinals, who are going to the state championship, and they went 2 years ago, and hopefully we're going to have some different result this year.
This is volleyball?
No, football.
Oh.
We're playing
Okay.
Shaw. So go Cardinals.
All right.
You were close.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin. Mr. Perk.
Yeah, just a couple of things as it relates to, I know spoke with State Representative Brian Fontenot in regards to Coulon Road, and which is commonly known as the John Deere Road. That is hopefully going out for bid within and I see the president flagging me, so he may have some new information.
The open bids tomorrow.
Open bids tomorrow. Great, that's even better. Also, we passed a resolution several months ago as it relates to getting DOTD to do a traffic study at the intersection of Highway 308 and Highway 3185, and that is currently going on. And based on State Representative Fontenot's comments yesterday when I spoke with him, that is pretty close to wrapping up, and hopefully we'll get a positive result. So that's really it. I will piggyback what Bo said. Go Cardinals. They've got quite the challenge this weekend, but if anybody can do it, they can. And just wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, and be safe out there on the highways. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perk. Ms. Shessel.
Yeah, I'll go third and say, great to go, E.D. White. My niece teaches there. Very excited for them. And I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas from our family to yours. Have a safe, happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shessel. Mr. Araby.
I'm going to piggyback on everybody else too, because I want to wish the Cardinals the best of luck Friday night. I know they got this. But anyway, from my family, your family, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. Looking forward to seeing everybody after the first of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Araby. And I'll follow by saying the same. Well, Mr. Shessel, go ahead. You got the floor. I was wondering if you were going to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're all going to go around the room, but good luck to the Cardinals. I also want to wish good luck. We have several local residents who are officiating some of these games in the Dome, so good luck to those guys as well, because those aren't going to be easy calls to make, for especially when local teams are in there. But again, guys, it's been another great year. I know we're not going to have the last meeting, but Mr. Terry, welcome. I didn't get to do that last time because I was missing in action. But it's been another great year, guys. Thank you for all the cooperation. Again, I know we get a little ruffled under the feathers sometimes with each other, and we've done a good job at not doing it in here, which is a good thing, and I really truly appreciate that. I know from the men and women who are sitting behind me, and Mitch is out this week, but Mitch would say the same thing. We appreciate the working relationship. And again, I know it's not always easy, it's not always fun, but we always do what's in the best interest of this parish. So thank you all. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Shessel. And I'll say the same thing from Nikki and I and our extended family. Merry Christmas, all my fellow council members, administration, as well as the residents of Lafourche Parish. And with that said, bring to item N, and on a motion by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Araby, and there being no further business, Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of December 10th, 2024 is adjourned at 18:06 hours. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, and 1 person stepped out of the chambers, that being Councilman Adams.